guys, I'm Lye Marlow. I'm here with Glasse Factory shooting my quarantine tapes. I have a couple songs for you. Hope you enjoy. Alright, the first song I'm going to play today is called I Wasn't Over It. It's meant to be an interlude on my album, and then I produced the track around it, and it became what will be the debut track. Here we go. I thought about it. He was sold to me, and I was having trouble breathing, praying my anxiety away while everyone was sleeping. Sometimes I think about how you never said sorry, how you pretend that you didn't take somebody home and break them. I thought about it. You couldn't look me in the eye without explaining why you never owned up to your misbehaving. You can't pretend we weren't waiting to face it, standing at the bar at the party, standing at the bar at the party. You hesitated. I thought about it. You thought about it. I thought about it. And everything about the night was hazy, but you told me that you loved me. It drove me crazy. It was everything I want, except for what I can't comprehend. But you were there with someone else. I can't forget. I thought about it. I thought about it. Every day since then I've thought about it. How you told me that you loved me, and I lost it, 'cause I was someone whole. It's so unfair that you pretend that I came into your life already broken. But at the bar, at the party, you were looking sorry. Alright, the next song I'm playing is called Sleeves. It's one of the newest tracks I've produced and one I'm really excited about. Hope you enjoy it. I got dirt on my sleeves from trailing my heart by my feet, and I'm stumbling over your love again. But you haven't changed. Must be hard to grow inside a cage. Yeah, I'm suffering. Don't know if I can bluff again. Thinking about you. everything that you do. Even when it hurts, I don't care if I lose. You're playing games with me. I'm on a string that's wrapped around your finger, but your fingers isn't feeling. I haven't stopped thinking about you. No, I haven't stopped thinking about you. No, I like everything that you do. Even when it hurts, I don't care if I lose. I haven't stopped thinking about you. No, I haven't stopped thinking about you. I'm on a string. No, I like everything that you do. A string that's wrapped around your finger, but your fingers isn't feeling. No, I like everything that you do. Even when it hurts, I don't care. I'm on a string. No, I like everything that you do. A string, but it's getting hard to tell which one of us is hard-winded. Alright, this next track is called Favorite Place. It was the first track I wrote and produced after like a year and a half of not even opening my computer at all. I sat down and wrote it in like 4 hours. Hope you like it. My heart didn't fall for you, it don't. Stories, my head didn't keep up with it, no. Goddamn, I feel alone. And I should have got it before I broke. Baby, no, I believed you. You spoke about getting a place with a dog. Goddamn, I believed you. Baby, no, I believed you. Said I was your favorite face. Now something's changed. Goddamn, I believed you. My heart won't wait for you. It broke. It's aching. Don't know how I'm supposed to know. Your skin, your touch felt like home. Your words were only good on the pillow. Baby, no, I believed you. We spoke about getting a place and a dog. Goddamn, I believed you. Baby, no, I believed you. Said I was your favorite face. Now something's changed. Goddamn, I believed you. Goddamn, I believed you. Baby, no, I believed you. Spoke about getting a place with a dog. Goddamn, I believed you. Baby, no, I believed you. Said I was your favorite face. Now something's changed. Goddamn, I believed you. Goddamn, I believed you. I believed you, believed you. Goddamn, I believed you. This next song is called Crash. It's pretty personal. It's about a car accident I got into like the day before Christmas a couple of years ago. Merry Christmas. Shattered glass of the windshield, split the lights up ahead on Ventura like a train. Broken like you made, the airbag hit my chest,
stole the breath straight out my lungs. Oh my God.
Shot through the place where you lived inside my head, and it felt like you were hurting me all over again. In the street, it's coming back to me, hanging in the night air, the smell of gasoline. I lost control of my feelings, but breathing through the smoke, I choke even though I've had grief in my throat. Since you've been gone, since you've been gone, since you've been gone, 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 gone. The physical pain shot through the place where you live inside my head, and it felt like you were hurting me all over again. The song Gemini feed was playing, and I was cursing your name. The impact had me shaking, but it all hurts the same. There isn't a difference. I'm still in pain. There isn't a difference. No, no. It all hurts the same. I'd rather bruise my ribs than feel like this. I'd wreck my car before you break my heart. I couldn't stop crying. I was thinking of you. Couldn't stop crying from missing you. Alright, this next song is going to be my upcoming single this summer. It's about blacking out, making out, and thinking it's love. It's called Curly Fries. Hope you like it. We're out of our minds, eating curly fries. Late night at the diner, fuck me up. You've been a bad street, we're going down with the whiskey. I kinda like how you fuck me up. Baby, I've been seeing you with faulty eyes. To feel like I'd be lucky to be hurt by you. And if I've been seeing you with faulty eyes, I still feel like I'd be lucky to be hurt by you. And I would jump if I knew you got to be hit by you. I don't wanna know any better love than to be loved by you. I wanna have fun, I wanna be young and dumb with you. 'Cause you fuck me up.
awesome. Thanks so much for sharing your music with us.
Thank you for having me play. It was so much fun. It's not like played for anybody, and
It'd be like that. It's quarantine times.
my roommates are home, and I'm like, everyone put your headphones on. Like,
I'm wailing.
mumble vocals. Yeah.
That's awesome though. How's this whole vibe been for you? Just like being in your little quarantine element.
This has been just the best little reprieve. I like left town for quarantine, thinking it was just gonna be like
A couple months maybe.
a long weekend or like 2-week even pre-lockdown. It was like we all got off work and I went down to the beach and my friend was like, just pack for a long weekend, and I was there for like 10 days. Like, I need to go. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
We're friends, but not. This is a long time.
Time to come back to my cave.
To have
right?
only like leggings and like you know,
right.
like share groceries. That's a weird little dynamics.
So what has been your favorite part about all of this, even though it's kind of been tumultuous and a little weird, unknown energy? How have you been faring during all the quarantine times?
During all the quarantine times, prior to quarantine, was working 7 days a week. I was 2 days at the record label I am contracted with, like in the office, 3 nights in a bar, and then working the brunch shift, which is like, don't ever work brunch. It's the worst. So it was like any 9 to 5 normal was like going out after work and then like waking up early for brunch, or going out after like a bar shift and showing up in an office like still a hammer. Like, so it was really different for me to just have nothing to do and nowhere to like be. It's the most time I've ever spent in Brooklyn. Like, I am such a Manhattan. Like, I felt like my whole life was in Manhattan before, so it was the most time. I like got to know my neighborhood really well.
So you lived here, but you were just always out in Manhattan?
Yeah, it was just a place, like a crash pad, basically.
Yeah. Wow.
So I really got to know my neighborhood. The neighbors, I like got to redecorate my whole apartment. One of my roommates left town, and I was like, thank God. And like redid the whole apartment, which was a lot. That was like a really good project to sort of take my mind off things.
Make your home like feel like a sanctuary.
Exactly. It's a lot of flea markets, a lot of, and you know, I mean, I don't know, like bike rides. Try to find ways to stay active and get work done, and sort of find a balance between like the flexibility with my current work schedule and the amount of time I have to like be at home and enjoy my studio and like making music and my neighborhood. And
what do you like about what have been your favorite things that you've discovered about your neighborhood?
gosh, they're like all bars. No, like if you walk a block into Ridgewood, it's like like feels like, it doesn't feel like Brooklyn. It's less grungy. It's really like quaint neighborhood vibes, and like, I mean, that sounds so boring, but like going on walks around the neighborhood has been really nice. Like all of my neighbors grill like all day, every day. So it smells like chorizo. Like, there's just like, you find that you're like or like you are a part of the like energy of the neighborhood, like just being really integrated in like what this like Grove Street like is and feels. It's like
so cute.
You say what's up to your neighbors, and like just getting to like support the local businesses. Like I was never here before quarantine, and then things started opening back up, and I'm like, oh my god, the French bakery makes sourdough bread and croissant. I never made sourdough. I never made sourdough.
What's your favorite part about being a musician in Brooklyn?
A musician in Brooklyn? I'm not a good example of musicians in Brooklyn, I don't think, because I just hole up. Like, I feel like a little mole. Like, I just kind of work by myself in my basement. It's always been how I've, like, come up with the coolest stuff, because I'm not self-conscious of, like, something not working or not sounding good, and I mess around with, like, a bunch of sounds that often don't sound good, so it's fun to just, like, I guess for me, like, living here affords me this, like, basement space to have turned into my studio, so,
grateful for that, I'm sure.
Yeah. it's like not my bedroom.
Yeah.
So that's
nice, especially during
definitely a
quarantine, to have a
plus.
separate place to work and to live is probably important for like mental health.
Yeah,
wise,
like take
too.
your coffee and go down, and that's
Yeah.
work zone. And then like 6 p.m. comes, and I'm like, let's do a crossword. I'm like the lamest person ever.
Yeah, share your quarantine hobbies and staples.
Oh yeah. We wake up in the morning, we have coffee, and my roommates and I do the Monday crossword. It's the easiest one, but we like try to best our time. So there's a lot of like random facts being thrown around our apartment pretty often. And then in the evening we watch Jeopardy. I'm like 87 years old.
I think quarantine's turned us all into grandmas and grandpas for real.
Seriously,
Like
I was
10
like
p.m.
always
Something
out.
like
It's kind of nice to actually like slow down.
Especially
And, like,
at such a
nerd
young
out.
age too. And I loved your song. I was like, I just want to be like young and dumb. I don't even care if this is bad for me. Like and I think I caught up in that too before quarantine, and it really like helped me slow down. I'm like, okay, just because I'm young doesn't mean I need to be dumb. Like,
Right.
it's been nice to just chill out and like get to know yourself and like figure out other things that you like to do. And
Exactly, like incorporate some balance, and I think do a lot of. I mean, it's afforded. I think everybody like. The time to do some soul searching and like sort of look at our society at large and like figure out how they want to like be a part of it or give back to it and like support their neighbors and friends like in different ways that like life prior to 2020 didn't beg quite as severely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you think that this whole time has influenced your songwriting at all?
I think so. I think I've gone through phases of like forgetting like certain aspects of my personality, like dressing up or how you engage with people outside of your like normal circle. Like I forget how to small talk sometimes. Or I think in quarantine my boyfriend moved in with me, so I haven't had like any crazy life events to like write about, but I think I've started putting myself in like my friend's shoes or giving myself little exercises to write to, like, oh, this is really interesting that this came up, like if you were to like write a letter to yourself and like make that a song, or like I love bike riding and I love spinning like a lot. And I love boxing. But I've been doing like the at-home spin classes, not like Peloton. Unfortunately, my spin bike's like broken 4 times over quarantine.
It's getting lots of use.
No, this new one has like literally never been written. We had to like replace it, and now they're like, "It's use your error." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, it's never been written.
Oh my gosh.
But certain songs that make me want to spin, like if I want to spin to a song, I'm like, this is a thought. So trying to be like, oh, okay, like let's write something that I want to spin to, or like.
We should do like a guest playlist with you, and you just make a spin playlist.
A spin playlist.
These are the spin bops.
Yo, I could totally do that. I think about it.
All right, let's make it happen.
On my spin playlist. So, trying to be like, what's gonna make me tap it back, and like trying to like make a beat in that style, or like.
Cool. So you're trying to make your own vibe for your spin.
Yeah, you have to like.
That's cool.
Change it up, or like think about what like inspires you, and then like what you want to sort of make people feel as a songwriter,
Definitely.
producer.
So what is the journey of your whole music career from starting out at the cello and now having this like industrial pop sound?
Yeah, so I started playing the cello when I was like 10. That was like my gateway. I wanted to quit the piano so badly when I was little, growing up, and then I started playing the cello and was like, this is sick. I was like, not
cool.
Not cool. I was like, I love the cello. It was like the only thing I would talk about. And baseball. I wanted to be a baseball player. There's like this inner view of me as I have type 1 diabetes since I was like 3. And there's like Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation did like a story on my twin sister. I have a twin too.
Oh, cool.
So my twin sister and I, because
you both have it?
she doesn't have it. So that's like a thing with twins. It's kind of odd that she doesn't have it. So they did like a story on us. And they were like, yeah, like Lye wants to become a cello player and then buy the Dodgers and then put herself on first base. Like, that was literally my brain. I was like, I'm going to play cello and then be a baseball player. That was like all I wanted to do. So I played very competitively through high school to the point of it like not being fun anymore. And that's when I started learning guitar, and I was learning like Led Zeppelin like guitar riffs.
Cool.
My mom came in my room once. She was like, playing Led Zeppelin on guitar is not going to get you anywhere. Like, go practice the cello.
Okay, Mom.
And I started writing songs, and then a friend of my dad's was like, yo, you have chops, like.
Word.
And he gave me like a gig once a month at his little like club in North Hollywood. So I had like a gig once a month, and he's like, I'm going to implore you to like add one song to your set list once a month. So I like, with like, you know, high school and stuff, it was like finish like 1 or 2 songs 1 month, and I just started like replacing my set list like every month. So I'd have like 5 new songs every month. Cool. And I went to NYC for college because I was wanting to explore like not just composition or like orchestral playing. I wanted to really explore like songwriting and production. I heard this Bobby McFerrin album. It was like this 60-person choir singing like African chants and beats, and I was like, the magnitude of this is like insane. You can't get that like just with one voice like singing like folk songs on a guitar. So I wanted to like learn, say like more. I wanted to learn how to make something that could sound that huge. So cool. I took a couple, well my whole, I was in the Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music at NYU as a songwriter, and I was so interested in like taking the production classes and learning how to produce. And then I had a professor say, yeah, you could literally sample an air conditioner and turn it into a synth sound if you want. And I was like, holy shit, like, I'm never picking up an instrument again. Like, and so I got really into sound design, and that's where like my songwriting kind of became fused with my interest in like manipulating audio and making things like grungy, kind of gritty. And I guess my sound kind of evolved from there.
I love it. It's unique for sure. It's really cool. I'm excited. I want to hear it on stage. Like,
hell yeah.
Yeah. And you have, I know you say you don't dance, but you're vibing. I want you to have more room to vibe. I want to
roll around on the floor.
Yeah. That's awesome. Rockstar shit.
Yeah,
awesome.
like kick a stand, like a mic stand over.
For real. So what does your songwriting process look like?
Ooh, a lot of like mumbling. I start with a beat. I start with like putting like sound, like I'll usually start on my Moog and like come up with like an arpeggiated like pattern, and I'll like sidechain some kicks to it and figure out where it like kind of breaks and get a beat going. Then once you can dance to it, I'll start messing around with melodies, and it's a lot of like not words until like the words fall into place. And I'm like always jotting stuff if I'm like, it's the hardest part of quarantine honestly has been like not being in new environments. I think I used to do a lot of my songwriting like taking the train to and from work, because that's like the time before you go into work to kind of like meditate on like your day or what you want from the day, or who like texted you and pissed you off the night before, or like, you know, whatever it is, like you can just jot down ideas And I do that when I'm on the go.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I'm moving, stuff is just, you know, rolling around. So sometimes I'll, like, open up my notes and go through and see, like, what little seeds I've like, started.
I love that.
And then lean into it. Once, like, the melody, for me, always informs my words.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright, here's a question. What do you think the future of the music industry is going to look like?
Oh, that's really loaded. I think for years everyone was saying streaming, and I think it's been a letdown for artists who are, like, are unable to make a living from streaming their music. I am trying to start a fashion company, like a streetwear company. We're gonna start with streetwear, called Wannabe NYC. Fashion for posers. And without saying too much, I'm gonna try to, like, backdoor that into music, and I think that there are a lot of ideas and collabs with, like, fashion and music that have been done before, and I think there's a way to sort of reattach, like, tangible value, like, to music. I think NFTs are interesting. I don't know if they're the future of, like, building audiences necessarily. But it hasn't been around long enough. So that's difficult, you know? I think you know, record labels can be really helpful for artists. But unless you're, like, the 1%, I think some of the deals just need, like, restructuring. It's hard. It's, like, hard. Yeah. It's difficult to be an artist and not have a side hustle, and, like, nothing happens overnight. Right? So as, like, a producer, artist, like, I can answer for me, like, I would love to start producing for more artists and, like, subsidize my living with, like, being able to make money from what I do here in this room. Once I have the clientele. And I think most musicians can find little odd ways, even if it's not for their own project, to, like, bring some money in. So for artists, I think it's just getting creative, like, looking at your skill set and, like, what you can bring to the table and what you can offer, like, your fans or your audience, or just, like, you know, community, like, what you can sort of barter.
Most definitely,
with.
Yes.
For the music business, you know, we'll see. NFTs are interesting.
Right?
I don't even
blows my mind.
know if streaming has, like, fully gotten off the ground. I mean, it has. It's the only way people listen to music.
I think it's kind of stepping into a new phase.
Yeah, like, people think that, like, if everyone just paid for a subscription, like, that would fix the problem of, like, artists not getting paid enough per stream, but I don't think that's the... I don't think that's the...
It's all about the distribution.
Yeah.
Whole different senses of the word. It truly takes a village, and I'm excited to see more collaborations happening between creatives and creators and just, like, companies and individuals. I love it. So I think that's, like, needs to be the future of the music industry, is people really working together. There's room for everyone on the top, for real.
Exactly.
Like,
it's not small up there.
No.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, like, an optimistic. Like, the future of music, I have optimism surrounding, like, what that looks like.
Good.
Yeah.
We need it. You gotta speak it into existence too, you know?
I know, let's just say it.
Yep.
It's really hard.
Okay, so let's see. What is your project that you're working on right now that we can look forward to?
Sweet. So the project I'm working on, it's gonna be a 6-song EP. It's gonna go into an album. A couple of them are the tracks I put in this evening. They sort of chronicle getting over a breakup. So it is like a lot of dealing with like healing, I think. And I think I tackle a couple kind of big, like, slut shaming. Was kind of a big part of it. So reconciling with, like, wanting the person that hurt you the most. That's more or less the subject matter. And then when I was with this person, I didn't open my computer at all. Like, it was kind of wild. So when it ended, I just, like, had this studio space. Not this one, but I was, like, had set my studio up the street from where I was living, and I was just like, I need to go and, like, put this together, and, like, I put one track together, and everything just sort of, like, snowballed, and I got, like, super into produce. I'm sitting on, like, so much music, even beyond this record I'm gonna put out.
Cool, that's exciting.
And even more tracks, like, more tracks than I can write to, and, like, I'm excited about, like, creating beyond this record. And I think I feel I have to pay homage to, like, that period of time and just put the project out, like, as it is, as it was when I made it. And I guess at this point it's like some of the tracks are like 2 years old that I'll be putting out. So I'm like sitting here in my studio and it feels kind of like going backwards, but I think it was like a pivotal time in my life.
Good, well, I'm excited to hear it all.
That makes me very happy to know that like someone's
waiting
looking
for yeah,
forward
you gotta keep going because I'm
exactly.
waiting. Cool. Well, thank you so
I
much for this.
This was so much fun.
I agree.
I like sitting down here by myself every day, just like making like ugly sounds sound like there's some sort of like order to them. Can get a little like solipsistic. So it's like super sick, like having you guys in here and hearing tracks and knowing that I got some ears.
Definitely.
It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having us, for sure.
Thank you. Thanks for listening, guys. The last song I just played, Curly Fries, will be my next release coming out this May. If you liked what you heard, I'm Lye Marlow, and you can follow me on all my socials, Lye Marlow, Lyemarlow. Thanks for listening.